Like I told you earlier on, we are bringing you a very, very, very special guest. A very special guest. So the time is finally arrived. He is here in the building at Pachikoma FM. At Pachikoma FM. So I'm super excited, guys. I'm super excited. I hope you are all excited. Remember how we roll here at Pachikoma FM. You always have to keep your messages coming through on our WhatsApp number 0776 348884. I repeat 0776 348884. So our guest is none other than a professional journalist, a marketing strategist, a brand ambassador of Chicken in Zimbabwe, a public relations and communications expert, the former vice president at Zimbabwe Junior Parliament. And I'm talking about the one and only Ketley Agwindi. He's here. I don't know if I said something bad, something that I was not supposed to add there, or I missed something. He is here to give us a full introducing about himself. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Thank you so much for that introduction. I feel so honored,
Mm,
humbled to be here.
yes.
And thank you, Judy. Thank you, Pachikomo FM. To all the listeners, a very good morning it is to you. Always good to be coming back home. I would like to say I believe I started this journey here at the
Yeah.
University of Zimbabwe, and it's now home to me.
It's
So
home.
I'm honored, and apana chamatombosia, in fact, matuwanda. So yeah, that's basically me, and I'm so excited to be here and humbled and honored once again.
All right, all right. So here at Pachikoma FM, what we usually do before we go any further, before we go anywhere, we want you to actually tell us who is a Catholic Quindi. How can you explain yourself to the fans? With who are you? Because they are wondering. With I've said the positions that you've held, that you hold out there, but we want to hear from you. Who are you?
Okay. Yeah. Quite frankly, like you rightly said, I
Mm.
am radio and communications expert,
Okay.
marketing strategist, public relations and communication specialist. I also dabble in radio and TV presenting, coupled with leading teams that are within the media space,
Mm-hmm.
the corporate affairs space, and yeah, you could say I do a lot. But
Okay.
quite frankly, very young, motivated individual based here in Harare, Zimbabwe, born and raised here once again.
Mm.
I do believe that impacting lives is the most important
Most important.
agenda that we should get onto. So everything I do is based on the basis of impacting lives and doing the best I can to do that and make the world a better place through my
Good.
actions and work.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm just seeing a message that's just coming through. And Elvis tuned in from NC2. He's put three fire emojis. Like he's excited about all this.
Oh
I
yes.
hope we learned something wonderful today from our guest. So moving on to the next question that we have. So what are the most in-demand skills in today's job market, and how can listeners actually acquire them?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm excited to be talking about these topics today.
Yeah, yeah,
Speaking about the readiness
yeah.
to be in the space where individuals are aligned to being, young people are aligned to being in the job space.
Mm.
I would take, for example, individuals who are studying media, like yourselves,
Yeah.
where it's very important to be adapting things such as content creation.
Yeah.
It's very important to be adapting to the environment and space that we're in now, which are things that relate to artificial intelligence, which is AI.
Yeah.
It's critical, once again, for young people to be getting into spaces that require soft skills.
Mm.
The everyday traditional, narrative of going to school,
Yeah.
perhaps learning a particular skill that is on within the space of textbook material kind of work,
Mm.
sometimes is not moving with the times. And you then need to now require to adapt ways in which you have, these in-demand skills. So a lot of the people that I know, or a lot of the spaces that I'm in, have to do with creatives and
Yeah.
individuals who actually adapt creative work to what they do. And if you are going to be getting a skill, you can align perhaps a certification or some kind of professional certificate for that. And it's if you're going to be able to win, or if you're going to be able to get out of that, you're in a
Yeah.
better space now to actually, get a better result through getting into the job market through those specific things. A few of the things that I've cited.
All right, all right. So like the University of Zimbabwe, their students very soon you're gonna be opening. The part ones are coming and all that. So I'm sure there are so many people who like I want to come to the University of Zimbabwe, and they go to so many universities. I'm talking about NAST, CAT, and all that. So there's another question that we have for you here. So how can these students and young professionals explore their career options and like find the right fit?
Um, yeah, exploring your career options needs a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
You have to, adapt to systems.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that, there's a catering of specific places here, even at the University of Zimbabwe, and it
Yeah.
even dates back to high school, where
Yeah.
there's a career guidance, where there's opportunities and platforms for you to be able to explore where exactly it is you fit. Also, listening to your gut, being able to adapt and perhaps give room for your talent, your gift, or whatever opportunities that may be thrown at you at the time. And if you're able to then be able to collaborate that with the current environment, you're bound for success. You're able to win. You're able to adapt to an environment that perhaps is the best for you and perhaps suits you best. I remember I came into the University of Zimbabwe here, this particular university,
Yeah.
without too much knowledge
Yeah.
of where I want to be and what I want to do. But because I was able to have the right guidance, and because I was able to be given the right platforms and opportunities within some departments that really meshed or sort of had a relation to what I wanted to do with my life, I was then married, or I then got the marriage and opportunity to do the best I can and execute it in the best way possible. And here I am now.
All right. Talking about someone who does a lot of things, multiple things. So let's just say there's someone here who is at the University of Zimbabwe, but they feel like they chose the wrong program. But as they are progressing with their studies, they start to develop a new interest on something. Right. Let's just say someone who's doing something that has to do with electrical engineering. Then suddenly he develops this interest in things that have to do with media and all that. So, what advice can you actually give to such a student? Should they? Are there ways of which they can actually gain those necessary skills while at least they are still obtaining that very same degree? Because what happens today is that as much as we keep on watching what's happening in our day-to-day life, like someone is just inspired by what you are doing, how much you have achieved, the extent that you've went to be where you are, they're actually grateful for that. But at the same time, they are not studying anything related to media and all those things. So what advice would you actually give to that person? Should they just give up on that, or there are ways to balance?
Absolutely. It's important to follow your dream and chase your dream.
Mm.
The advice I would give to someone who is in a space that is not really what they are hoping to achieve at the time
Yeah.
would be for one to sit down and introspect. Self-introspection is very important.
Yeah.
I remember sitting down and relating a particular circumstance such as this,
Yeah.
when I perhaps thought that the degree I had wasn't going to allow me to get to the platform I wanted to get to. I'm on national television and radio.
Yeah.
I am a ZBC TV and radio personality. And I have multiple shows on TV and radio. And at that present time, I was doing linguistics. I was doing philosophy. I was minoring in Chinese. A lot of those spaces, I then thought to myself, oh, wow, how best is this going to be something I can execute in a very clinical way or in a very, direct way of getting and achieving my dream. So, what I would advise is always make sure that you obtain the paperwork because that's what you're
Okay.
here to do. Keep the
Yeah.
main thing the main thing. Perhaps in the side journey, I do remember here at the University of Zimbabwe, I was privileged enough to be a resident MC and host. So within that journey of sitting around, I think one of the biggest audiences I've ever addressed, which was about 3,000 to 4,000 people, was
Wow.
here at the grandstand, and it was for the Zitisu events, the sports events. And quite greatly or I'm very privileged actually and honored to have done that. But I then also was true to my word of making sure that I stay within the circuit or I stay within the journey. If you do feel that you need to do a complete overhaul, which is a change,
Yeah.
change is the only constant. One great philosopher once said that. And if you feel that is something that you can do and it is worth the time and it is doable, it is real, it is reasonable once again, go ahead and do it. The world is your oyster, and what we always hope for, or what we always just make sure we do, or what we always try and anticipate is to do it at the soonest time possible. So if you need to make a decision, make it soon. Don't wait, don't procrastinate, don't take too much time.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And I'm receiving so many messages right now. And then there's a gems from Marlborough. Hansi, we want to hear your life story. Okay, some of these questions, I'm not going to read them all because they seem to be the same. Hansi, how did you get to where you are today? Like, they want to know which steps to take in life in order to achieve what you've achieved in life.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that people get to where they got to, but as I always say, that I got to where I am, and I managed to achieve what I got to achieve through God. I've always preached that message because, as an individual who perhaps comes from the dusty lands of Mazoe,
Yeah.
just being able to be on world stages. As a as a director of ceremonies,
Yeah.
I've managed to travel to Dubai. I've managed to be in Zambia. I've managed to be in South Africa, all because of this gift and talent of speaking, and addressing as well as interviewing people who are of great repute and note. The journey has been nothing short of exciting, nothing short of exhilarating, and nothing short of inspiring as well for many young people out there, and even for myself. The impact, like I said, everything I do, I base it on impact, and the growth has been a blessing in the journey. So I think the life story is just stick to the plan and keep the main thing the main thing. If you're at a certain stage in your life, if something is of your priority, if something is mainly of your time, make sure that you make it count. Always take your goals very seriously. The small habits you accumulate in your journey are the most important. And being someone of note and repute also takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of integrity. It takes a lot of morals, values, and a mission. You need to have a mission. It's important to write down a vision board in your journey of success or in your journey to success. If you want to reach a certain level, it's very important to be able to write down things and be able to execute them. Because it's one thing to write down whatever it is that you want to do, and it's another thing to execute them. So I've been a slave to those kind of things. I've been a slave to those disciplining factors because they've allowed me to see the results and test the results and to have a taste of the results once again. And through that, I've also then been able to reap the fruits of some of that, self-application. And, it's never too late or never too early or never too much of the right time to be hard on yourself as an individual. Sometimes making a difference means making a decision. As a young person, there's a lot of things that are thrown at you, temptations, sometimes distractions. Always be right or always be clear with regards to. That's how I got to where I am, where you choose the distractions not to be a part of your life, or you choose less of them to be a part of your life, and you choose more of the things that will actually help you to be a better you.
Yeah, quite impressive, quite impressive. Like we said, please do come through with your messages on 0776 348884. Keep them coming. He's here, Mr. Kirtley Quindi. You might never know, you might never get such an opportunity to interact with him like this on Pachikoma FM. So, yeah, going on to our next questions. We want to know, what are some of the tips for networking and building professionalism in professional connections? Sorry. Like,
So, one great person once said to me that networking is so underrated. You could literally get into a room and your life will change immediately. You could literally sit around and be a millionaire by
Yeah.
conversation. I saw that to be true in the sense that your network is your net worth. So if you're able to sit around in a room, be able to convince someone, or tell someone a story, or do what they call an elevator pitch,
Yeah.
and your story is bought, understood, or your story is it has a buy-in from someone, you are already on your way on the journey to networking. In fact, you're already halfway on the journey to networking. Always have a business card. Always be someone who is ready to have conversation. Always be ready and confident. People underrate the power of confidence. I've always been someone who is, big on fashion, big on looking good. Because if you
Yeah.
look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good. If you do good, you are great. So if you're able to then connect the dots as to where your confidence is built, where your confidence is stemming from, and where it's built from, you're on your way to success already. You'll speak well, you'll do well. And usually, what people want to see, especially these people who perhaps are of value in the network system or in the networking circuit, they would love to see someone who knows what they're doing. So, whatever it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you're speaking about, you're better off in a position where you win their hearts or you win their story by being able to be knowledgeable. So there's a lot of reading involved. You need to be someone who's religious with regards to the information and circuit and place that you're at in your life. Therefore, you'll be able to, win the hearts of many, win the lives of many, and also execute the networking that should happen for you to grow. Your network is your net worth. I'll repeat that again. It's very, very important to know that the contacts in your phone book, if you're not, one mentor of mine said to me that if you're not one call away from the person that you are looking for, you haven't made it yet with regards to your networking circuit, because you should be able to call one person and be in access. If I need to speak to the president, all I need to do is have one phone call. If you need to speak to the next person you're looking for
Yeah.
example, Kirtley, all you need to know is that there's one person, unless you already have Kirtley's number. That's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be. And if you have that continuous cycle and rotation, wherever it is, wherever you are in life, you're in a better off position to win at this thing that is called networking. I've been a product of that. A lot of the people and systems and even situations and parts of my journey are a product of networking. My success is a product of networking. So I really, really highly recommend that networking style, as well as being able to speak, do, and perhaps execute well.
Oh, yes. You just had, and it starts from you. You have to feel good about yourself. When you feel good, you are definitely going to do good. So these are some of the notes that we are actually taking down. He's been telling us about the what you can do to some tips for the networking and building professional connections out there. So moving on to our next question, we want to know, how can the individuals stay adaptable and continuously develop their skills in this rapidly changing job market system that we have?
Yeah, the job market is obviously rapidly rotating. A lot of the actual menial tasks are being taken over by robots.
Yeah.
Staying adaptable means staying relevant. You need to be absolutely knowledgeable about all things. These days, it's not about one circuit or one line of work or one skill set, you crumble and fall. I continuously tell my peers, I continuously tell my colleagues that let's try our best to be as, versatile as possible. The word is versatile, because if you are going to think about it, many years from now, there's a lot of projections by these global systems and the globalization measures that are being taken that have made a lot of the things easier to technology. Staying adaptable means staying ahead. Read wisely and widely. I won't express that, or I can't express that enough, even in this 1 hour or 2 hour interview or 3 hour interview. I would never think that one should think that everything they know is enough. If you are thinking that, you are doomed. Even on your deathbed, you can't have all the knowledge in the world. So I would really think, or I would really, excessively express that, young people out there who are growing up and learning, churning, and developing, try your best to continuously evolve. And evolution means reading, watching. These days there's podcasts, there's videos on YouTube. There's so many platforms for you to garner knowledge and gather knowledge that is specific to the environment. So, for example, if your field is engineering, try and find new innovations within the engineering field. If your field, to the listener out there, is within the pharmacy circuit or the medical specialist circuit, try and find new ways in which innovation is taking place. If it's media and information, very much like our industry, you're going to try your best to find new skill sets and ways in which you can try and change and revolutionize the industry. You can't be the same as a presenter who used to present Judith in 2000 and Ningi, because you would want to create ways in which you stay ahead and you are adaptable in the environment. Say we give you an opportunity to be on an international scale or on an international stage, you are going to be able to see things that are happening out there that actually don't happen here, and you'll be like, where was I? But it's only because you weren't watching, you weren't reading, you weren't learning. So listen more, read more, and watch more. That's my advice to those who want to adapt.
All right. Thank you so much. I like the fact that we are talking about, this world is evolving. Right now, AI was introduced. We want to know, from your point of view, this AI, right? Some believe that because we've been having debatable conversations with some of the students, some of them, they feel like AI is actually taking some of the job opportunities out there. Some are saying it's helpful when it comes to schoolwork and all that. So what's your take on this AI that has been, is it helping or is it taking away from us?
It's twofold. That's a very tricky question. I have been reading, doing a little bit of research around the meta space, the incredible, innovations that are being taken on. Kudos to those who are creating them. I would say it's twofold. Why? First and foremost, I'm on the side of the fact that innovation, technology, and ease of access to information has been happening at a rapid pace. There's ChatGPT, there's Meta AI, there's several platforms that have allowed individuals to have access to information in a massive way. And it's churned, it's grinded, it's refined, and it comes out so beautifully. Information is at our fingertips, none like ever been seen before. However, we do have the job market itself, which is a specific topic that we are discussing. The execution of certain strategies, presentations, even in your situation, which is your assignments and dissertations. I would say a lot of that then becomes a little bit generic, in the sense that there's no longer deep and refined research, because what I understand, according to my reading and knowledge of how some of these systems work, particularly in relation to AI, is that it is a very fine-tuned and streamlined method of refined information which is gathered from different sources. At times, the accuracy of the information we're finding within the AI circuit, the accuracy of information we are getting in the execution of perhaps even the robots that are created is a
Yeah.
bit different and is not necessarily a true reflection of things that are real. And it's also then created a mindset of, of ease and relaxation within certain industries, which shouldn't be the case because humans are supposed to be humans and robots are supposed to be robots.
Okay,
But that's a
yeah.
story for another day.
Alright.
I'm not going to divulge too much.
Yeah, right. So we have, of course, students who are actually going for attachments, and those ones who just graduated from their part 4 right now, just finished because we've received our results last week.
Okay.
So they want to know, like, how do you prepare for a job interview and to make a great and first impression?
Okay. I think the first thing is being knowledgeable about the position that you're going to. I've conducted a lot of interviews. I've had the privilege within my public relations work to be a part of many panels and individuals who have particular interests in working with some of the brands that I work with within our company. And very rightly and very succinctly, I would say that it's quite sometimes riveting to be seeing young people coming and they're not well prepared, and the knowledge aspect is very, very important. Knowing that you're coming to an interview is critical. So you are coming to be doing things that have information around a certain job or description that has been given. So you need to be knowledgeable about it, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, you need to obviously be on time,
Yeah.
well prepared. You need to have your rapport that is looking good. You need to present. Your presentation is very important. You need to be able to be someone who's articulate. You speak well. I'm very big on this because even your language will tell a lot about you. You need to also have a preparation for your CV. Young people are going out there. What's not to print my CV, and I'm like, oh, okay. You've come for the interview. How best do you want us to reference you, or to be able to know what you have previously been doing, or where you are coming from and what you've done? We would expect you, once again, if you're coming in for a job interview, to be ready to answer any question that is thrown at you. Yes, I know some of them are impromptu. You're not prepared for them. But your research will tell you that I have studied enough for this question. Therefore, I should know enough. Therefore, my knowledgeable, the psyche within me that has all the knowledge should be able to kick in during that interview. And, last but not least, try your best to be as, well-groomed, and also smile. Also smile. Show your happiness to be in the place. Otherwise, we are looking at you from our panel as someone who's not happy to be there.
All right. Another question, I don't know, but I'm just gonna ask it anyway. How are some of the strategies for negotiating salaries and benefits?
Yeah. So definitely in an interview, you are asked what you expected. Some of the strategies are also presenting your value. Therefore, your CV plays a big role. Where you're coming from also defines where your value is coming from. Some of the strategies, once again, include being able to communicate in a way that shows that you are a high-value individual. So this has a lot to do with you presenting yourself. I can't come asking for $1,000 salary when I'm looking like $100. You're very much expected to, present yourself in a certain way.
Okay.
Do things in a certain way, and also be knowledgeable about your craft. Get the work done, and the money will come to you. But within negotiating your salary, once again, always know that this is something I just want to say off the cuff. Your value is seen, or you are seen as a high value person based on the work that you do, not the bills that you have to pay.
Okay.
Yes. So please try your best to know that your work should speak for itself. Therefore, when you are then negotiating or presenting a figure with regards to a salary or a retainer, or even if you're on probation to begin with, you are someone who needs to show the work and do it.
All right. So you mean, Uti, there are some cases where someone is just pursuing their degree here, but at the same time, there are some courses that they are taking along the way. Is that, or does that also boost your CV in some way?
Yes, in a massive way. As many certifications that you will be driving and doing in
Yeah.
your journey will help you to enhance your skill set.
Okay.
I can't explain the great value that comes with that. Your CV is a bit colorful when you do that. We will also look at you as a versatile individual if we're
Okay.
then hiring. A lot of the work that like I said earlier, has to do with the recruitment process for certain companies. Some of them being very highly acclaimed companies that I've had the privilege of being able to represent. And within that process of probably even starting, I've had the very, very great honor of breaking down some of these things that, young people should be able to gather as much skill sets while they have the time, while they have the energy, while they have less responsibilities. It will always pay off in the end.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I'm also seeing some messages that are actually coming in right now. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to Pachkoma FM, Mr. Ketley. We're really honored. And this one I think we once did it anyways. But Anzi, the tips for making successful marketing campaigns, like book recommendations, I think he's asking about books that they can actually read to,
Oh yes.
boost their,
Oh
yeah.
yes. I was speaking about reading wisely and wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think for successful marketing within the marketing space, I will mention the authors because they just write a lot
Yeah.
of very exceptional books. I do. I am a very, very huge reader with regards to books by Napoleon Hill himself. I am very happy to share some of those with that individual who asked. They can message us and then we'll be able to share some of our catalogs and books that we read. There is also Robert Greene, who is very, very big on, certain levels of leadership and also understanding certain laws within the game. And I am also a follower of John Maxwell. So if we're able to read along the lines of leadership, you can
Yeah.
apply it to any space. Because I am a leader in different spaces, I've allowed myself to then enhance my skill set according to that. But if they're particularly looking for, marketing in particular content, I would encourage them to look at Johar Capital, to be able to look at Marketing 101, as well as Grant Cardone. So those are individuals that I follow astutely on social media, and they'll be able to enhance their journey with regards to marketing and strategies that they can build. But within the space, there's a lot of growth that can happen through consuming as much content as possible.
Yes, as you are hearing from the one and only Mr. Ketley Gwindi, and the reading also boosts your skills. So he did mention most of the books that he has read and he's recommending for us. So please do try to access those books. I'm sure they can find them on the internet, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. These are some of the ways you can actually boost your skills and all that. So another question is like, how or what are some of the resources available for job seekers, and like how can they access them?
Oh yes, very important question. Who asked that? Oh, that's on. Okay, it's very important to know how best one is navigating in the professional space. Being a professional sometimes is and a corporate person is very difficult for some individuals. There's so many platforms. These include platforms such as LinkedIn, right? Vacancy.com. You're able to create a presence on such platforms simply because you are displaying a professional, and professionals exist there, and you're displaying a professional existence there. There are other platforms that show as well that jobseeking.com that you can show as places where you can look around and get the necessary information around what you may be looking for and what you are trying your best to be finding inspiration with regards to looking for work. I would really encourage young people to put themselves out on platforms such as these because they allow you as well to be able to think more about your professional landscape and perhaps not necessarily looking at individual ways or individual platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, etc., which
Yeah.
is usually the case with young people nowadays. It's your X, your Twitter, etc., which is really not recommended, especially if you want to get into the professional space. However, your presence there should be there, but
Yeah.
one did I kuma platforms I anoti one is samabasa, there's platforms even online to get certification, which are Google certificates, Google digital skills. You can even go ahead and get a LinkedIn certificate on a certain skill set that you can just do a short course through. So there's multiple ways, even online nowadays, that young people can go ahead and execute what they need to.
All right, all right. So yeah, you've had as LinkedIn, right? It's one of the
Yeah.
best that you can actually rely on. And also, I want to know, how can individual transition into a new career or industry, and what steps should they take?
I think young people should, you said young people. How do we
How can individuals transition into a new
new
career
career?
or industry, and what steps should they take?
So this is a new career coming from what? From perhaps something totally different.
Yeah, worried. Transitioning from a new career, or I'm not so sure. Maybe we're
Or
talking
coming from
about.
school.
Yeah, we are
Oh,
from
okay.
college,
Oh,
and
okay, okay,
also
okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very important to be ready for the for the career space. Becoming someone who's within the corporate space, coming out of university myself, I transitioned. You have to be adaptable, like we said. Being relatable. Allowing yourself to be happy to be in a space. So it also involves doing what you love. I do remember because that was for me 2019
Yeah.
when I went ahead and joined one of the biggest holding companies and conglomerates in Zimbabwe. And I got to do that through just being able to show great excitement for what I was doing at the time, and
Yeah.
therefore being able to execute and have an appreciation of what I was doing. But it's quite important. I would say that the transitioning process sometimes is painful because mninga wajaira kazvichiyuba nechiyusa, but you then go ahead and become someone who's serious and also show seriousness, because at times if you're in the corporate space, that could be whatever it is that you're doing for the rest of your life.
Okay, okay. So I think this will be the last question from me.
Okay.
Right? So how can our listeners create a personal brand and establish themselves as experts in their fields?
It takes a lot of focus and vision. You need to see where a personal brand, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to see a lot of that. I managed to be someone who crafted and created and also was the founder of CGC, which is a company we founded in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a full-blown marketing, communications, public relations, innovation, and media company. And it's allowed a lot of growth in my space, but it's also hinged rather on my name, which is Kurtley Gwindi. So it's Kurtley Gwindi Bookings and Consultancy.
Yeah.
And through that elevation and growth, I've also then realized that a reputation is very important within your growth trajectory. You are very much in a position where you need to be serious. You need to show that you can do the work and get it done. Through a space that is media, you also need to show that you are diligent, articulate, You need to show that you have integrity and the discipline, like I always say. So being able to establish a personal brand is quite important, and throughout the journey, it's quite valuable for someone to hold up some of those morals and values in the process.
Right. Okay. So another thing is like I see that you do a lot of things like we've mentioned, marketing strategies, brand ambassador, and all that. But I just wanted to tell who actually you said efforts are the one that brought you to where you are, right? Determination and all that. But I want to know who inspired you to like to keep on pushing yourself. Was there someone that you were looking up to?
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yes, I had a lot of mentors in the process of things. What I've then come to have an appreciation of is because of the versatility of my brand and who I am and what I do. I've also been in a position where I'm at ease knowing that if it's going to be business, I have a business mentor
Yeah.
because I am into business, like I rightly said. If it's going to be spiritually, because I am a spiritual person, I have a mentor. If it's going to be within the media circuit, because I am a media person once again. If it's
Yeah.
going to be within the MC and director of ceremony circuit, I have a mentor in that space and circuit once again. So it's just so many variables that then come together so perfectly and then create one massive brand. But I do know that there are certain names and individuals. The list is endless. But just to mention a few, I have been inspired internationally by the likes of Trevor Noah, who had a huge growth trajectory as I was growing up. I know it's a lot of comedy. Kevin Hart once again, but more seriously, I did watch a lot of the newscasters once again, such as Jeremy Thompson, Koi Wire from the CNN. I've also been privileged once again to have an appreciation of some of the regional legends, such as Peter Ndoro himself,
Okay.
and a few radio heads, locally and internationally, once again. So, yeah, it's been quite a journey, but I am grateful for all the individuals who then impacted my life so positively and came out beautifully for me once again.
All right, I'm seeing your message. Anzi, I love your creative taste and I wish to meet you one day. These are some of the listeners here at Pachikoma FM. So, last words that you can actually give to all our listeners who are actually listening to you right now. What can you like, the final words before we end our session?
Stay as ready, stay as woke. Young people all over the world, young people listening to me from here, the University of Zimbabwe, always remember that it is quite a journey to greatness. The step-by-step approach is something that should always be taken and not taken lightly. The information and knowledge we gather is power. Knowledge is power. The networks we create are powerful equally. It's always very, very important that you live a life that inspires and that impacts, because that is your legacy. I always particularly enjoy a lot of, individuals who come to me and say, Curtly, how do I do this? How do I do this? You always need to ask yourself, how much impact am I going to be making in society? And once you realize that, you're able to achieve anything. The sky is the limit when it comes to, winning at this life thing. Ups and downs are there, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. I was denied in a school that I really wanted to, rather rejected by a school that I really wanted to be a part of in South Africa some many years back. But I am here now, and I am very, very excited to be sharing this journey here on Pachikomo. And thank you so much, Judith.
No, thank you so much. So before we end, I want you to tell us where can the listeners, everyone who's looking at, who's listening to you or who wish to actually interact with you, like ourselves here, where can we actually find you on social media?
Okay, you're able to find me on social media at Curtly Gwindi. That is my handle across all platforms. you'll be able to connect with us, and you'll be able to obviously have an appreciation of some of the work we do. So that's at CURTLY GWINDI. And yeah, you are also able to find us on all platforms, which is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, formerly Twitter, which is now X, and basically every other platform. That's LinkedIn once again.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ketley Gwindi. Of course, it was Mr. Ketley Gwindi here with us at Pachikoma FM. So, for those who happened to miss out, I'm telling you guys, Ketley Gwindi is a professional journalist. He is a marketing, a strategist, a brand ambassador of Chicken in Zimbabwe, public relations and communications expert, and also a former vice president at Zimbabwe Junior Parliament. And we had him here at Pachikoma FM, and we managed to interact with him. Thank you so much for coming through Pachikoma FM. We are humbled and so grateful and hoping to interact with you more. And so right now, checking my time, it's exactly 6 minutes to the hour of 12. And I'm just going to play you the song that's coming through from Winky D featuring Gemma Griffiths, Enonzi Mugadeni.